Why is it I feel like every time I come back to this game, it feels like it's actually been forever since I've been here? I don't have any excuses, I can only point at myself and say, just fucking do this more often. You love it when you do it, so come back, you goddamn asshole. Anyway, hey there guys, my name is Nix and welcome back to Steins Gate 0. Last time, Daru kind of asked Moeka to see if she could find Kagari. And if I know anything from looking at the other world line, Kagari sure knows where to find Moeka, so I feel like it's only going to be a matter of time. Anyway, we decided to clock in with Maho today. The Japanese office of the Global Brain Science Comprehensive Research Organization in Wako City, Saitama. That is right, Saitama. Maho Hyojo had tried her best to hold back a yawn, but in the end she'd given up and opened her mouth so wide it could have covered the well over half of her face. I mean, she's kind of small, but... Maho, could you not? I'm recording this at like 11 at night because it's the only time I know I won't be disturbed, and I need to not crash right now. One reason was that she'd gotten caught up in talking to Kurisu last night, and only ended the conversation after it was late into the night. At first they'd been discussing research and experiments she'd been doing, but at some point she got sidetracked into talking about Okabe Rintaro. Evidently, he'd been ignoring calls from Kurisu for the last few days. Look, I didn't want to. I just went one text option too far and couldn't pick my phone up, okay? Don't judge me, Kurisu. Kurisu was much madder at him than she was when she'd ignored him when he'd ignored her the first 8 times. It was the first sign of femininity that she'd ever seen from Makise Kurisu. It was cute enough that Maho couldn't help but take the chance to get back at her for all the teasing she always did. She always ended up staying up a lot later than she intended. And since she was too energized to sleep by that point, she'd gotten out Kurisu's old laptop. She started to fiddle with it to see if there was some way to crack the password, and the next thing she knew, it was morning.
Password.
A password, huh? Maybe it'd be better to ask a professional. What's up now? Oh, Leskinen. Despite you being, I don't know, like 6'5", you still managed to creep around somehow. And just a guess at his height. I'm assuming Okabe's a normal-sized human being. She suddenly heard a voice behind her and almost jumped out of her chair. Is it really that surprising? Professor! You're back? Just now. He raised his hands and showed her some plastic bags from a nearby convenience store. He had left to go get lunch just 10 minutes ago, and she's sure he wouldn't be back for a while. You know, Japanese convenience stores have so many foods to choose from. It's truly wonderful. You can eat a different box you can eat a different box lunch every day, and a week later you'll have new ones to choose from. And each store's got its own flavor, so you can get you can get your food from them every day if you want. If you keep eating box lunches from convenience stores, you're going to get fat. It's still healthy compared to American food. Also, I don't think you have the right to lecture anyone about their eating habits. He was right. Nutrition wasn't an important consideration for Maho. In fact, she ate mostly cereal and meal replacement shakes, which made her diet very unhealthy. Can confirm. That was basically my university life. Oh boy, that was a dark time. By the way, what did you want to ask a professional to help with? Oh, that! It's nothing. It's nothing. It wouldn't bother her if Leskinen found out. That's what you think. Oh boy, would it actually bother you. But for some reason, she suddenly decided not to tell him. Yeah? If there's anything I can do to help, I will.
Thank you. I may take you up on that.
She stood up and headed for the door.
Maho,
Oh? Where are you going?
I'm going to Akihabara to get some fresh air.
That's a long way to go just for some fresh air. If you just admit you're going to see Lintalo, I'll permit it.
It's not like that!
It's not?
I might go see him while I'm there.
Okabe had a laboratory in Akihabara. Kurisu had told her that last night. She said something about how he'd been avoiding it for a long time and only recently started going there again. Maho was a little interested in it too.
Just so we're clear, it's not like that. It really isn't.
I haven't said a word.
Anyway, I'm taking the day off.
Tell Lintalo I said hi. First Kurisu and now the professor. Why do they keep trying to make everything about romance?
Anyway, isn't that called sexual harassment these days?
For one thing, she wasn't going to Okabe's lab just to visit him. She wanted to see him again and see if she could get any hints about the password. He had said he didn't know, but he probably would be able to come up with more than she could on her own. That was what she thought after seeing how he interacted with Amadeus. You could call it a woman's intuition. She was thinking about that when she changed trains and got off at Akihabara Station. Where the fuck am I? She felt like someone was watching her and spun around. It was a weekday, but the station was crowded. She looked around at all the people, but none of them seemed to be paying her much attention.
I must have imagined that. Right?
She whispered to no one in particular as she started to walk again. Kurisu had told her the location of the Future Gadget Lab. She wasn't that familiar with the layout of Akihabara, but if she needed to, she could ask her for directions. But what if she came in unannounced and Okabe wasn't there? That bothered her a little, but she decided she could just leave if that happened. Her eyes lingered on the junk parts lined up in the bins at the shop she walked in when... She felt someone looking at her again. But when she turned around, she still didn't see anyone. She started walking again, then went around the corner into an alley. And then she was sure of it. Footsteps. She could hear them behind her. Moeka, is that you? I don't know anyone else in this game that wears heels. That's the only reason I ask. Then again, footsteps are just footsteps at this point. Of course, that was nothing special. She'd often be out walking at night and hear footsteps behind her. She'd speed up her pace only to see an irritated man walk past a moment later. But this time, for some reason, she was sure it wasn't that. She decided to try walking faster and found the footsteps went faster too. When she went slower, so did they. Whenever she saw a scene like this in a movie, she imagined that she'd just kick the guy in the face. You're a little too small for that, Maho. I hate to be that person. Now that it was actually happening, she was too scared to turn around. She fumbled for the phone in her pocket. The idea of calling the police never occurred to her. The only thing she thought was the name of the man she was trying to meet. She picked it out of her call history and pressed the button with trembling fingers.
Please.
The footsteps overlap with the sound of the ringing.
Kobe, help me!
The footsteps were almost on top of her. Just when she couldn't take it anymore and she was about to start running. Hello? She heard a voice coming from the other side of the phone.
Hello? Kobe? It's me, Piaggio. I'm right next to your lab.
She didn't get to say another word. By the time she realized that someone had grabbed her from behind, the phone had already slipped from her hands. What's this? I asked Kiryu Moeka, and as I took the papers she offered me silently. She contacted Daru just 10 minutes ago and told him she was on her way to the lab. And she'd arrived right at the time she said she would. She must have been very close when she contacted him. What was she going to do if no one was here?
Report.
Evidently, it was a report about her investigation thus far. The stack of paper was shaking a little in my hands. I still felt some unease with Moeka in my presence. Maybe it was because of the anxiety meds I'd taken right after she said she was coming, but I was still doing a lot better than yesterday.
Well, Uncle?
I guess it really isn't going to be that easy to find her.
I see.
She must have been expecting this, at least a little. There was an obvious tone of disappointment in her voice.
Kagari? Where are you and what are you doing?
With no way to answer her, I just silently flipped through the pages of the report. Sup, Ocarin? Did you find something useful? No, not really, but...
Let me see.
I handed the report over to Suzuo without complaint. I pointed to the part that interested me with my finger.
My investigation has revealed one interesting fact. Over the past 1 or 2 months, it seems another party besides ourselves has been searching for Shina Kagari. What does that mean?
Just what you read. Which meant... My phone started ringing before I could finish the thought. Hi, Maho! I have a horrible feeling about what's about to happen. Normally I'd just ignore her and call her back later, but... Sorry, can I take this? For some reason I had to answer. That's what it felt like. Hello?
Hello? Kobe? It's me, Hirsho!
She sounded on the verge of panic. My voice naturally rose to match hers. What's wrong, Hirsho?
I'm right next to your lab!
Immediately afterwards, I heard what sounded like a struggle, then something hitting something else. Hirsho? Hirsho? What's wrong? That's not a good noise. And then there was only silence. Ocarin? What's wrong? From the tone of her voice, it was obvious something bad had happened. Someone's attacking this girl I know. Wait, seriously? Which girl? But I didn't stay to answer his question. I grabbed the nearest thing I could to serve as a weapon and ran out of the lab. I'm concerned as to what he comes out wielding. She said she was close to the lab. If she was coming from the station, she would have chosen a route that probably not many people will go down. She was probably... the alley directly in front of the lab. I saw someone there. They were tall and slender, and I could see a tiny silhouette struggling behind them. That was... I knew it. The only girl I knew that size was Maho. I hate to be that guy. If this wasn't an attempted kidnapping, this is adorable. I don't know who's trying to... I know that body, I think. What was the name of that woman that works with Leskinen? Ray's? I think her name? I'm just going by the body type. I don't know. That's the only other figure I could think of. Anyway. Stop it! Let me go! Soon I grabbed her as she was trying desperately to escape. Kinda just looks like she's just, like, I don't know, giving her a big fucking hug. Hiyosho!
Huh?
Of course it was! Of course it's the fucking lightsaber that we used to save Kurisu in the original Steins game. The person who was holding her turned in surprise at my voice. A woman? It was only then that I realized it was a woman and that she wasn't Japanese. Okabe? Hey! Let go of Hiyosho! Did she not understand me? No, but she should have been able to guess what I was getting at. Let her go. I tried to strike a threatening pose with a weapon in my hand. Yeah, that ain't fucking happening, Okabe. I finally realized that what I brought was the Sialoom saber. Still would serve as a bluff. I'll say it again. Let her... It's not like that, Okabe. Huh? It wasn't? Yeah, see, I knew this image was too adorable. It wasn't like what? I feel like I knew it had to be her, but I didn't think she was in Japan at this time. Oh, either way, I still think she's sus as fuck. I'm sorry. After what happened with Leskinen, you're like... You've been in one scene before this, and I don't like you already. What was the voice I gave her? I've completely forgotten. Also, I need water. I'll be back in a moment. Well, my 5-foot trip to the fridge and back, and I still don't know what voice I'm gonna give Reyes. Reyes? Reyes? R-E-Y-E-S? I don't know. Google. How would you pronounce this? I think it's Reyes, but I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, you know what to do. Yell at me in the comments. Oh! The woman let go of Maho and smiled. She walked towards me with her arms open wide.
Are you Maho's boyfriend?
I was not prepared for English! Then again, she's American. Don't know what I was expecting. Huh? What? Wait, what? Before I could ask what was going on, she wrapped her hands around my back and fucking suplexed me. Also, I've just noticed my mouse is on screen. My bad. And given me a firm hug. Is this a Leskinen hug?
I told you, he's not.
I had no idea what the hell was going on, but the two soft objects pressed into my chest kept me from moving. Smooth. Then you know her, Hiyosho?
I'm sorry. It was my mistake.
I'm Judy Reyes.
Yeah.
Pleasure meeting you, Mr. Okabe.
I mean... If I'd have fucking waited, I would have not had the faff of working out how the hell to pronounce that name. Thanks, Judy. The woman named Judy Reyes offered me her hand, which, seems to be like falling back a few steps after she just gave me a fucking hug. Nice to meet you.
日本語でいいわよ。
Japanese will do just fine. What? Do you speak Japanese, Professor?
ええ、実はね。
Yes, actually. I had no idea. But why? When a girl gets to be my age, a lot happens.
How old are you, Reyes? I feel like I could Google. I feel like I want to Google that, but at the same time, not because of spoilers. And again, like, how could she not be part of Strat 4 at this point? The mischievous wink looked pretty good on her.
Anyway, I'll introduce myself properly. Judy. Judy Reyes. Nice to meet you.
I returned her handshake. Okabe Rintaro.
Professor Reyes said she came to Japan for an AI conference.
She's a professor? At Victor Condria?
I research psychophysiology.
Psycho?
It's the intersection of psychology and biology. In other words, she researches how the activities of the brain affect the inner workings and diseases of the mind. In that sense, her research is a lot more useful to humanity than ours.
I mean, it is once you solve it.
That's not true. Depending on how it turns out, your Amadeus could turn into an incredibly useful piece of technology. It makes me happy to hear you say that.
In short, Dr. Reyes had happened to see Maho in the streets of Akihabara and decided to surprise her by grabbing her from behind. Yeah, makes sense.
Still, that's pretty mean of you. Following me here all the way from the station. I followed you? From the station? That's right. You followed me the whole time, didn't you?
Ah, someone else is watching Maho.
No, I didn't. I happened to see you from that shop over there and decided to surprise you. Huh?
Maho had only just relaxed when Dr. Reyes' answer drained her face of its color. Hyojo, someone followed you?
Yes. Yes, but that's what it felt like.
Do you see anyone suspicious? That's a yes, but I'm not going to tell you. Dr. Reyes denied it with that unique shrug that foreigners always do. I looked back over the alley, but of course I didn't see anyone there. I have several thoughts, and it's too early to put an answer on it, so we'll put a pin in that one for the time being and come back to it.
I must have been mistaken then. I'm sure you were. Japan's the safest country in the world, right?
I've seen a world war start here, madam. I'm not gonna say yes. Was it?
What are you going to do now, Maho?
Reyes seemed to sense something in Maho's silence.
I see. Alright, I'll be on my way then. We should talk sometime, Rintaro.
It threw me off. I read that and I'm like, I feel like I said that wrong. No, I only think I said that wrong is because I'm so used to how Leskinen says it.
Bye.
She gave me a meaningful wink as she left. The station was in the opposite direction. Should I have said something? I got a strange sense that she was feeling me out, but it seemed like a waste of time to resist. So, this is Hyojo. You remember me telling you about how I met her at the seminar, right? How I made a really, really shitty first impression?
Sorry for all the fuss.
I ended up taking Maho back to the lab where everyone was waiting for my return. Zazura had actually gone out once to look for me, but evidently by that time I was already gone. Well, I'm glad it was nothing. After I gave an introduction and an explanation, everyone let out a sigh of relief. Maho seemed to want to ask a lot of questions about the lab, but I had something I had to finish first. Sorry. Where were we? We were talking about the other group looking for Kagari-tan. Yeah, that's right. Is that true, Kiryu?
It's true.
I looked back down at Moeka's report, where she'd written all the details. She'd even hired a private investigator to check it out, which meant it was probably true. There was no chance it was Suzuha.
I thought of that, but some of the people looking for her were men. Some were even foreigners.
Foreigners? Oh god, those Russians! Those Russians are coming! Why would they be looking for Kagari?
I'm the only one with any connection to Kagari in this time. So why would anyone?
Could it be CERN? Maybe CERN realized that she was from the future and had gone looking for her. If that was the case, then Moeka would have to know about it. No. The Rounders were all given their orders individually, so it would make sense if she didn't know what the others were up to. Shina Kagari's been here for 12 years. She has to have met some people during that time. More like she couldn't survive that long without somebody's help. That's true. In other words, what this report tells us is someone who knows Shina Kagari, someone who knows who Shina Kagari is, has started looking for her recently for some unknown reason. That means at least until recently she was alive. Oh, that's right! Unless they could travel through time like Suzuha, if they were looking for her, that meant they'd known where she was until she disappeared. If people had started looking for her in the last few months, that meant she'd been alive until then. There was nothing else to be learned from Moeka's report.
What will you do?
Shall I continue the investigation? If people were looking for Kagari in Akihabara, that meant she still might be here.
Alright.
Moeka took her payment for the work she'd done so far and left the lab. Daru paid the bill. It seemed that when his future daughter was at stake, he was willing to spend the money.
You're looking for someone?
Mao had been looking around the lab with interest. Yeah, just a girl I know. It worried me that some of the people looking for Shina Kagari weren't Japanese. Is this my baby boy? Nope, good enough though. Oh shit, I was not prepared to do my Yori voice.
Hey Ocarine! What time are you getting home today?
Something going on? It shouldn't be that late. I won't see you tonight, part 1. It shouldn't be that late.
I see. Will you eat dinner at home?
Maybe. I guess.
Okay, I'll have something ready.
Huh? Why?
Your mom asked me to.
I just remembered, some guys from school wanted to go out tonight.
Yeah? That's a shame. I was going to make something good.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll just make some for your dad then.
You don't have to do that. I'll get him something on my way back.
It's okay. Leave it to Mayushi.
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm glad I said no. Even outside of CERN, there were people all over the world who would jump at the chance to learn more about the time machine. they somehow learned that Kaguri was from the future, that could mean she was caught up in some kind of trouble. Alright, Ocarin, give me the KWSK on Hiejo-san. Sheep-san? I don't know. I've already told you everything there is to know, though. She was Dr. Leskinen's assistant, and both she and the professor have been very good to me. I was helping with their work a little. I told him all this before. For example, is there going to be a super development where she suddenly becomes a lab member? Probably not. And can I at least call her Maho-tan? Actually, I'm just gonna.
Maho-tan?
Huh? Did I get your name wrong?
That's not it! It's just a weird thing to say.
But you're Maho-tan, right, Maho-tan? Don't you agree, Ocarin? Don't ask me.
Just stop calling me that.
But I refuse! He never changes, does he? So anyway, here's Joe. What brings you to the lab today? Did I tell you about this place?
Amadeus told me. There was something I wanted to talk to you about, but I forgot. Not I forgot, but there was something I wanted to talk to you about, but forget it. I got to see your mysterious laboratory, and it looks like you're all so busy.
Was she mad?
Yeah, she was really ticked off. Says you're not picking up her calls.
That's exactly what I expected, yeah. What? 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 What are we talking about? Nothing involving romance. Cool it, man.
Is this really bothering you after all, Okabe? If you want to stop being a tester, you can...
No, that's not it. It's just... I hated how I was starting to feel dependent on her.
Talk to her sometime, if you ever feel like it. She's lonely.
Okay. The word lonely made my heart ache a little. But even so, I still didn't talk to Kurisu that day. Several days had passed since Moeka had given her report. I checked last night and evidently there was nothing new to say. She had her deadlines for her magazine, she said, and couldn't spend a lot of time on it. She got some CERN work to do, is what that's code for. That other group of people who were searching for Shina Kaguri concerns me, but I couldn't ask her to prioritize it over her own work.
Mayushi's very disappointed.
Hmm? Is this about the Christmas party?
Yep. Kaede and Fubuki are both busy.
Oh, do we not have it in this timeline? That's gonna be depressing as sin.
And Ferris is work, and Nai's gotta spend it with her dad.
That's a good question, actually. Why did Nai spend it with us last time? That's an interesting question. What about Lukako? Can Best Boy come?
Dara says he's going to have fun with Yuki.
Oh, is he? That's very straightforward of him given last timeline. That's a good thing, isn't it? I'd heard that Suzuha had gone through a lot of work to set that up. She was always complaining that Dara wasn't making his intentions clear with Yuki. From Suzuha's perspective, her own existence was at stake. Even if it was already fated to happen, something still might interrupt it. More than anything, she probably wanted to see her mom and dad getting along in this peaceful world. If something came out of this, it would probably make her feel better. You sure you don't want to spend Christmas with your family? Your dad was reserving a cake.
You met my dad?
I ran into him near my house. He was all excited. He was reserving a big cake to surprise you.
I see. Maybe I should do that.
Oh, but don't let him know I told you. It's supposed to be a surprise.
Yeah, okay. But what are you going to do for Christmas?
It's a good question. Probably mope about it and I don't know. Talk to Kurisu. I guess I don't have any plans. My family never did stuff like that. The guys at school were having a men-only drinking party, but I haven't been invited. I kept telling them she wasn't, but they insisted on thinking that Mayuri was my girlfriend. Some of them had it out for me because of that.
Didn't you say that one year you asked Santa for a present, and the next day you found vegetables under your pillow?
That's unfortunate. Yeah, and it was obviously stuff left over from the day before. When I went to complain, my dad yelled at me and told me we weren't Christians anyway. Honestly, I'm amazed I actually grew up alright. Well, if you could call how I ended up alright.
Once Christmas is done, there's Kanemo, and then there's New Year's. Years just flies by.
You're right. It hadn't flown by for me at all. I've gone through the same span of days again and again. For me, the year had been unimaginably long.
Oh, I know! Hey, Ocarine! Since we can't have a Christmas party, how about we have a New Year's party?
I like how Mayuri thinks.
We could all go visit the shrine and eat osachi and say Happy New Year's.
Look, provided I get to see Lukako, anything's fine in my book. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Hey, right? Okay, I'll ask everyone later.
Mayuri stood up to go.
Okay, well, Yushi's about to go shopping.
Shopping?
Yep, I need some props for Fubuki's cosplay.
I see. Well, take care.
Okay. All right, Ocarine. Lukako wanted to talk to you about something.
Oh? That's right, Lukako had called me. After that, Moeka had come, and so much happened that I'd forgotten. Knowing Lukako, since I told him I'd call him back, he'd probably been waiting for me this whole time. Okay, got it. I'll get in touch with him.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Mayuri put on her coat, waved, and went out the door. Alright, I should get in touch with Lukako. Look, I wasn't not going to. Lukako isn't picking up. Oh well. I have to send him a rhyme. I typed in my message and sent it. And then I waited for a while for a response to come back. But there was no sign of him even reading the rhyme message. Was he busy with something? For a moment I thought of going to the shrine to see, but if he was busy, I didn't want to bother him. He'd contact me when he had time. Just when I was thinking about that, I heard footsteps coming up the stairs outside the lab. It didn't sound like Daru. Daru's steps were a lot heavier. Come in. Oh. Strange coincidence. I just tried to call you.
Lukako.
Lukako?
よかった
Good,
岡部
Okabe.
さんここにいてくれて
I'm glad you're here. It was Lukako. It was Lukako. The boy I'd just been trying to get a hold of.
すまない。
Sorry, I totally forgot. So I just called you. Huh?
本当だ
You're right.
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry, I didn't notice
気づ
either.
かなくて
He looked guilty, as if he'd done something wrong.
いや、別にいいよ。
No, it's fine.
それより寒いだろ。
Anyway, you've got to be cold. Come in.
はい
Oh, sure. But he hesitated, seemingly distracted by something behind him.
岡部さん
So,
その
Okabe,
相談の件なんですけど
I was going to talk to you about something.
実は
But
その前に
first, there's
会
someone
って
I'd
も
like
らい
you
た
to
い人
meet.
がいて
Is that
連れて
okay?
きたんですけど
会ってもらいたい人？
Someone you'd like me to meet?
えっと
Well... Lukako moved slightly to the side. A girl appeared behind him.
はじめまして
Hello? What? Impossible. The girl there was...
クリス。
No, not quite. Not quite. See, this is why I was confused to start with. When I made him a back at the end of Vagrant Altair, I made an offhand comment, which I think I cut out of the video, and I'm like, you know, this Kagari girl really reminds me of someone. Yeah, when she grows up, she looks a lot like Kurisu, and it weirds me the fuck out.
よろしくお願いします
Nice to meet you.
どうぞ。
Come in.
ありがとうございます
Thank you. I offered her a cup of tea and I poured out of a plastic bottle. And she thanked me in a voice that was almost impossible to hear. For my part, it was all I could do to keep the hand holding the cup from trembling. I took another good look at the girl sitting across from me.
似てる。
She looks just like her. Not like Lukako. The girl in front of me looked just like Makase Kurisu. Her brown hair, slightly slanted eyes, her unconcerned expression. Oh shit. Did Mayuri adopt Kurisu's daughter? No, wait, surely that's not possible. That's it. The only thing my brain jumps to is like, is there some weird, like, cloning thing going on? Because that's like the only thing I could think of. As to... For some reason, like, Kagari is somehow like a small clone of Kurisu? I don't goddamn know at this point. Anyway, it's nice to meet you, Kurisu 2.0. Right now, there was no sign of her strong-willed nature, but other than that, they were identical. When I'd first seen her, my heart felt like it was going to stop. But on closer inspection, some parts were different. Like, the size of her breast. Well, yes. Sorry, I just had to check my figurines for reference. Yes. Was she about our age? She looked older than Lukako. I knew Lukako had a sister. Could this be her? She had a quiet air about her that seemed similar to Lukako. But I thought I remembered hearing that Lukako's sister was actually quite cheerful.
岡部さん
Okabe?
いや、
Oh, nothing.
それで。
So, Lukako.
ルカ子
Lukako?
ああ、失礼。
Oh, excuse me.
俺はそう呼んでるん
That's just what I call him.
その
Since, you know, he looks like a girl. I just realized that was a pretty rude nickname. But it was a habit now, and there was no way of changing it.
そうなんですね。
I see.
Her expression softened just a little. She really did look just like her. I took a shallow breath and forced myself to relax. No, I'm just... My other thought I had about it was like, are they like implanting the Amadeus into other people? But that's no reason that people would look like her. Like, there's no way they can take an artificial intelligence, use it to replace human psyche, and that... Which, yeah, obviously that person will think like that individual at that point, but they wouldn't look like her, so they, like, the only way thing I can think of is it's just some weird fucking cloning thing that's happened. I took a shallow breath and forced myself to relax. Boy, I wish I fucking could!
で、
So, Lukako,
この人
who is this?
その
Well,
前に話したことがありました
remember
よ
how I
ね。
told you my dad had a
お父
visitor
さんのお
staying?
客さんが泊まってるって。
Why does it always end up at Lukako's? Why is the thing I'm looking for always end up at Lukako's?
ああ、聞いた。
Yeah, you told me.
それ
is
じゃ
this her?
もしかして彼女が
はい。
Yes.
That was a surprise.
ルカ子の父親の知り合いというか。
I thought a friend of your father would be older.
年配の人かと思っていた。
違うんです。
No.
正確に言う
More
と、
precisely,
お父さん
someone my
の
dad knows
知人
brought
が連
her.
れてこられた方で。
I'm sorry, what? I didn't want to suspect Lukako's dad.
おお。
Oh. So this wasn't the person who was talking about Harumi. That made me feel a little better.
それで、相談というのは、
So I
この人についてなんで
wanted
す
to talk to you about her.
その前に名前を教えて
Before
もらっ
that,
てもいい
can you tell me your name?
この人じゃ
It's just hard. It's just hard to keep saying her. Her face clouded. Did I say something wrong?
実は、相談というのは、
Actually,
そのことなんです。
that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
あの、
Well,
この人が誰なのか
how
を
can we find out who this girl is?
知るにはどうしたらいいでしょうか。
Okabe, can you put two and two together? It took a moment before I understood what he said.
待ってくれ、ルカ子。
Wait a second,
そ
Lukako.
れはどういう
What do you mean?
記憶喪失。
She's got amnesia, she says.
記憶
Amnesia?
はい。
That's right.
それじゃあ名前も
Then she doesn't even remember her name?
はい。
That's right.
どこの誰かも
Or who she is? It's kind of the same thing, Okabe.
はい。
That's right.
どうして
Why?
わかりません。
I don't know.
Of course not. If she knew, she wouldn't have amnesia.
でも
But-
どうして
But
俺
why come to me?
岡部さんなら記憶を
I
取り
thought
戻
you
す
might know a good
いい
way to
方
bring
法を
back
知って
someone's
いるんじゃないかと
memories.
思って。ほら、岡部さ
You talked about
ん。よく
memories and
人
the
間の
brain
脳
and
と
all
か
that
記憶と
complicated
か
stuff all the
す
time.
ごく難しい話をたくさん何でもいいんです。
And anything you can do to help me bring back my memories would be wonderful.
方法があれば。
待ってくれ
Wait,
確
wait.
かにそういう話
Sure,
も
I
してた
talk
が
about that stuff a lot, but I'm just an interested amateur. I don't know anything special. Oh no, we're gonna fucking take it to Reyes, aren't we? Oh, we're gonna take Kagari to Reyes, and this is not gonna end well. Can we at least take it to Maho first? I knew how the brain worked and how it was laid out. Yeah, I knew what amnesia was. But bringing back someone's memories was a different matter. Even the latest medical technology would be useless. Unless, of course, you had memory stored on the system like Amadeus.
そうですか。
I see.
The girl was visibly disappointed.
だったら何
In There must be some way you
身
can
元を調
find
べ
out
る
who
ことは
she
でき
is.
ないでしょうか。
Kana just seems to be suffering so much.
辛そうで。
かなさん
Kana?
仮の名前だからかな。
Luca's father gave me that
ル
name.
カさんのお父
He
さ
said
ん
I needed a name.
名前がないと不便
He
だから
said it means temporary.
ずいぶん
It-
安直だな。
Doesn't sound like a lot of thought went into that. Was that okay?
いつまでも名乗る名前でないのだから
He says that since I wasn't going to be using it forever, it would be better this way.
I couldn't tell if that was deep or not.
岡部さんなんとかならないでしょうか。
Is there anything you can do?
名前だけで
If
も
we
分
could
かれ
at
ば
least find out her name.
なんとか力になってはやりたいが。
I'd love to help, but wouldn't it be faster to go to a private
更新所
investigator?
なんかに頼んだ方がいいんじゃないのか。
更新所
A
探
a
偵さん
private
みたいなも
investigator?
のですか。
Like a detective agency?
あ
Yeah,
あ、でもそれだって
even that's going to be rough
何
with
か
nothing
手
to
が
go
か
on
り
at
になる
all.
ものがないと。財布とかカバンとか
You don't have a wallet or a bag or anything?
そういったものは
No, nothing.
何も
Nothing?
別に
Not
大した
not
ものが
necessarily something big.
一つくらいありそう
I'd
な
imagine there
も
has to be at least one thing.
一つだけ。
There is one
ただ
thing,
これが手がかりに
but
な
I
る
don't
の
know if
か
it'll
どう
help.
か。
She slowly took out her handkerchief, as if it was something that was very important to her. Whatever was inside must have been the one thing she was carrying.
見せてもらっても
May I see?
はい。
Yes.
そしてお客さ
Do we have visitors?
Mayuri about to meet her own goddamn daughter! Almost the exact time Kana opened the handkerchief, I heard Mayuri's soft voice from the front hall. Evidently, she was back from shopping. Fuck. This is what I was afraid of. Suzuo was behind her, too. That was a rare combination. They run into each other on the way here.
あ、まゆりちゃん。
Oh, Mayuri.
あ
Oh, Luca!
ールカ兄さん。
My brother
こちら
Luca.
の人は
Who's this?
うちに泊まっている
She's
お
a
客
guest
さん
who's
です。
staying with my family.
Kana bowed her head a little.
Wow!
For some reason, Mayuri gave a happy little sigh as she looked at the handkerchief in Kana's hands.
That's an apple, right?
I don't know if I'm happy I went the other way first or not. Because me would be flipping shit right now. I would be losing my shit and being like, why? Why? Why is this Kurisu looking girl? But now I know that she's Kagari. I mean, to be fair, with probably from what I've seen so far, I would have pieced it together. Same goddamn Oopa! Inside the white handkerchief is a faded Oopa keychain.
好きなんですか。
Do you like Oopa?
私もね。
Mayushi loves him too.
こと大好き。
もしかして
Is this your
手がか
clue?
りというのはそれか
It was an old Oopa keychain. Was that really a clue?
でも
But how old is this?
このものか
It looks pretty old.
ずいぶん古いみ
It
たい
really did, come to think of it. Oopa was a character from the Rainet Kakaru anime. Oopa products will only be around for a few years now. But the one I was looking at was very old.
これもともとは緑色だったん
This
じゃ
was
ないか
probably
な
green to start with.
だってこれ
It's the Forest Fairy
生
version.
産バージョンだもん。
森の妖精さん
Forest Fairy?
この前やってた映
It
画
was in the movie that just came out. Mayushi's got one too, see?
マユシ
The design's a little different.
このところのデザインがちょっと
I couldn't see any difference at all.
このキーホルダーね
This keychain's really hard to find, so I was looking everywhere for it.
ずっと探してたん
And
だ
then Luca found it and bought it from me a while ago, remember?
見つけて買ってきてくれたの。たまたまお店を
I
覗い
just
たら
happened to see it on sale.
見つけたから。
しかしよ
That's strange, though.
この
If
前
it's
の
from a
映画の
new
グッズ
movie,
な
it can't have been on sale for
発
that
売してす
long.
ぐのはずだ
And yet it's so so old. Huh? Only then did I realize how pale Kana's face was.
大丈夫ですか？
Are you okay, Kana?
具合が悪いのか
Are you not feeling well?
大丈夫。
I'm fine. That ain't good. Kana tried to stand up and almost fell forward. Lukako quickly grabbed her.
そうだ何か
I
冷た
know.
いものを
I'll get you something cold. I went to get a bottle of water out of the fridge when I noticed that Suzuha was staring at Kana in shock.
鈴葉
Suzuha?
そう。
This is impossible.
Huh? Strangely, Kana was the only one who was shaking a little. Suzuha was too.
嘘。
No.
それ。
That Upa.
どうしたんだ鈴葉
What's wrong, Suzuha?
私は知って
I
る
know that Upa.
そのウーパ
It's...
それ
おい
Hey!
鈴葉
Hey, Suzuha! Oh no, Kaguri's having war flashbacks. I hate it. Kana staggered a few steps towards Suzuha, and then a few steps more. It couldn't be. No, there was just no way. But
もしかして
Ah,
Oh my.
are you?
かがり
Kaguri?
what?
お前はかがり
Are you Kaguri? Are you Sheena Kaguri?
Kana's eyes went wide. And she slowly collapsed to the floor.